Today we are going to see that the constant strain triangle, it is a two-dimensional member. Let us draw this simple triangle and let us assume that this is a nodal number 1 and here it is a nodal number 2 and this would be the nodal number 3. I said that it is a two-dimensional member, so therefore it has a both x comma y direction. So it has a, let us take the point P. So at point P having a x coordinate value as well as y coordinate value. Similarly, let us define the coordinate values at nodal number 1. So at nodal number 1 it has a x1 coordinate and y1 coordinate. Similarly, at nodal number 2 let us define that it has the coordinate value of x2 comma y2. Similarly, at nodal number 3 it has both x and y coordinate value, let us say x3 and y3. So now it is possible to say that at nodal number 1 it has a x1 y1 coordinates, at nodal number 2 x2 y2, x3 y3. So now let us define that the x component. So the capital X would be the x component and this can be defined using the shape function. Here there are the three nodal numbers are there, so therefore you are going to get the three shape functions. So those may be called as a capital N1 comma N2 comma N3. So these three shape functions are exist at each and every nodal point. So these three shape functions are very important, and these shape functions are exist at nodal number 1, nodal number 2, nodal number 3. So here the concept behind of the three shape functions are, in a given constant strain triangle there are the three nodal numbers are there, that's why you will get the three shape function. So therefore it is possible to say that at any given point P, the x value can be defined as, the capital X can be defined as, it is equal to the shape function n1 and coordinate value of x1, the small x1. Similarly, plus n2 x2 plus n3 x3. So means that the shape function n1 and x coordinate at nodal 1, shape function n2 the x coordinate at nodal point 2, shape function n3 and x coordinate at nodal point 3. Similarly, the capital Y can be defined as a function of the shape function and nodal coordinate n1 y1 plus n2 y2 plus n3 y3. So this is called as the coordinate values at given point x comma y can be expressed as a function of the nodal parameters as well as shape functions. So this is one of the very important point. Now let us assume that the shape function as a, say the shape function can be defined as in terms of the natural coordinate system. So the shape function can be assumed that, let us say n1 is equal to the zeta and n2 can be say that eta, and let us assume that the n3 can be write as 1 minus zeta minus eta. So this is a, let us and assume this one and let us rewrite the above equation in a zeta and eta. So therefore the capital X can be write as, it can be write as in terms of n1 can be assumed as zeta, so write as zeta into x1 plus n2 as a eta and eta into x2 plus n3 as a 1 minus zeta minus eta of x3. And here let us separate the zeta terms and eta terms, and this can be write as, if you separate the zeta terms, and zeta can be write as x1 and here it can be write as zeta is equal minus zeta into x3, so minus of x3. So means that I am separating the zeta terms and eta terms. So and next one would be separate the eta terms, it can be write as x2 minus x3 of eta, and last term would be the plus of x3. So this is the capital X at given point P. Similarly, and at given point P, the capital Y can be defined as, the capital Y can be defined as, it is equal to the n1 y1 that can be write as it is equal to n1 is equal to zeta into y1 plus n2 into y2 that is equal to n2 becomes that eta into y2 plus n3 is nothing but 1 minus zeta minus eta into y3. So this can be rewrite as if you separate the zeta terms and eta terms in the above equation, the zeta can be write as y1 minus y3 of zeta plus eta terms can be write as y2 is present here, and if you multiply here then you get that y2 minus y3 times of eta plus y3. Okay, and this is a capital Y. So here I have separated that x and zeta and eta terms in a x equation and y equation. Now let us rewrite the x equation here. The x1 minus x3 can be write as x of 1 3. Since the x of 1 3 can be write as it is equal to the x1 minus x3. So see here, if you observe that x of 1 3 1 minus x of 1 minus x of 3 can be write as x of 1 3 zeta. This is for simplification, and plus here x2 minus x3 can be write as x2 3. x2 3 indicated that x2 minus x3. So into eta plus x3. Similarly, the y also can be write as y of 1 3 can be y1 minus y3 can be write as y of 1 3 into zeta plus y2 minus y3 can be write as y of 2 3 into eta plus y3. So these are the two equations after simplification. So this equation can be used for further derivation. Now similarly here I have written that x1 and shape functions, means that the at point P I have assumed that it is a x comma y are the coordinate values. I have written that x is a function of the shape function and nodal coordinate parameter. Similarly, it is possible to write down that the nodal displacement functions. So if for example at nodal point 1 I am going to write down that the shape function as a the nodal displacement in x direction, let us say u1, and similarly in y direction let us say it is a simply v1. Similarly at nodal point 2 the x directional nodal displacements are u2 and y directional nodal displacements are v2. Similarly at nodal point 3 the x directional displacements are u3 and y directional displacements are v3. Now here let us say that the u1 and u2 u3 are the x directional displacements at node 1 comma 2 comma 3. Similarly the v1 comma v2 comma v3 are the y directional displacements at node 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is a very important things. So now it is possible to say that at given point P, and you maybe say that the x directional displacement is u and y directional displacement is v. So therefore by using that the similarity equation, okay, similarity equation, therefore it is possible to write as u v as a function of the shape function at given point P. So at given point P the u can be write as, it is possible to write as it is a function of the shape function as well as a nodal displacement. Therefore it is possible to write as n1 u1 plus n2 u2 plus n3 u3. Similarly the v can be write as n1 v1 plus n2 v2 plus n3 v3. So this is one of the very important point. So therefore at given point it is possible to write down, there is a two equation. One is it is possible to define that the x and y at given point P, that is called coordinates, is a function of the shape functions as well as nodal coordinates. Similarly, at given point P, it is possible to write as the nodal displacement in x direction u and y direction is called as a P. So this is also possible to write. At this point of time, I have defined that at given point P, I have defined that what would be the x parameter. So I have defined that the x would be the function of the shape function as well as nodal coordinate values. Similarly, the y at a given point P, I have written that it is a shape function and the nodal coordinate values in the y direction. Similarly, at a given point P, I have assumed that the u would be the displacement in x direction and v would be the displacement in y direction. So this will be going to be write u comma v as a function of the shape function as well as nodal displacement. Similarly, the u is a x directional displacement. So therefore, it is possible to write as function of the shape function and the nodal parameter in the x direction. Similarly, the v can be write as it is a function of the shape function and the nodal displacement in y direction. Now this can be reduced that the u can be write as, I know that n1 is equal to the zeta into u1 plus n2 is equal to the eta into u2 and plus n3 is equal to 1 minus zeta minus eta into u3. So I have to separate the zeta terms and eta terms. So if you separate zeta terms, therefore it is possible to write as u1 minus u3 of zeta plus, if you write down that eta in the above equation, this can be written as u2 minus u3 of eta plus u3. Similarly, the v can be write as, it is a the n1 can be write as zeta into v1 plus n2 is equal to the eta into v2 plus n3 is equal to 1 minus zeta minus eta into v3. If you multiply this one, then v3 minus zeta v3 minus eta v3. So if you simplify this equation, zeta terms can be separated as v1 minus of v3, small v1 minus of v3, plus eta terms can be separated, it is a v2 minus v3, and last term is a plus v3. So these are the two very important equation that will be possible to define. Okay, so this will be small v. Okay, so these are the two equations that will be possible at a given point. So here, if you see that the x and y equation as well as u comma v both are as a function of shape function as well as nodal parameters. So these equations, these two equations will give the similarity in the nature. So therefore it is possible to say that the isoparametric representation is nothing but x would be it is called as x of 1 3 into zeta plus x of 2 3 into eta plus x3, and y can be write as y of 1 3 into zeta plus y 2 3 into eta plus y3. And similarly, the capital U can be write as u of 1 minus u3 can be write as u of 1 3 into zeta plus, and u of 2 minus u3 means that u3 into eta plus, and last term is a u3. Similarly, the v can be write as v of 1 3 into zeta plus v of 2 3 into zeta plus v3. So this above two equation and below two equations are called as a isoparametric representation, means that the x is a function of the zeta and eta, that is nodal, that is nothing but natural coordinate system, and similarly uv is also function of the natural coordinate system. So therefore this representation is called as a isoparametric representation. So this will be useful for the calculating or calculation purpose. So if you don't know that any unknowable displacement, therefore it is possible to calculate. And where it is very important thing is the n1 is equal to the zeta and n2 is equal to the eta and n3 is equal to the 1 minus zeta minus eta.